This is Hunt Nebraska, the official podcast for insight into Nebraska's hunting and shooting sports community. Be sure to give us a follow on Facebook, our space for sharing stories, information, tips, and techniques. Now, Hunt Nebraska. I know that in this offseason, not only have you three been preparing for the upcoming hunting seasons, which are closer than ever before, but also you've probably come up with some things that, hey, I've got some great inventions. I got some things that need to exist in the hunting and shooting world. And you guys, we've kind of come together here to share those ideas, right? Any money made on any of these ideas, we're going to split up 4 ways and call it good, right?
Yeah, I already submitted a copyright on all my ideas already, so we're patents and...
There you go. The pending of the copyright. Yeah.
I don't trust you guys at all.
Oddly enough, Jeff has a lawyer on
retainer
on speed dial.
Yeah.
And
hey, Bob, those copyright ideas I told you about, submit. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
We're good.
Yeah, just add money.
Yeah, we're good.
Kayla, and you're going to keep us down to earth here, because what we're going to try to do is present some of our ideas, and then we're going to vote on it as if that's a good idea or not. And you can see that we've got the perfect number to avoid ties at 4. We can't have a split vote or anything like that. We got to go.
You can't vote for yourself.
Folks, we appreciate you listening to us wherever you might have invited us, whether it's your home, your car, your office. We appreciate that. Make sure you give us a subscribe, give us a big thumbs up, like Hunt Nebraska. This is where we're going to talk about hunting and shooting sports here in the great state of Nebraska as often as we can. And we're going to pick it back up as we get into hunting season. Because, Jeff, you know, hunting season's already open.
It's on, and it feels good. It's
Does it? Have you been out yet?
Not yet, but I mean, I've been to the range.
Been to the range.
Doing some prep work.
The thought process has begun.
Well, I've started, and I've gone down this rabbit hole too many times in my life, but I've taken on a whole new cartridge for deer hunting. And so I've started reloading for this new cartridge, and it's a Wildcat one. You got to form the brass and everything. You got to make it all yourself. It's proven to be a little more challenging. So this has been a challenge, but once I'm done.
What caliber?
7mm.
7mm Rollins coming
yeah.
out. It's going to be field tested this year.
Yes.
And available perhaps in manufacturing production 5 years from now.
Never.
Nope.
I don't own the cartridge. I just own one barrel for it.
Well, that's where the gun makers come in and they can make some barrels for it.
Well, it is a better mousetrap.
7mm.
That's what wildcatters do. They take one mousetrap and build a better one out of it.
We call it the Raleigh. If it got caught.
Raleigh.
Right?
Yeah, it's already got a name, unfortunately, and it ain't the Raleigh.
Probably can't say it.
But I'll let the designer know you said that. I'll let him know that. Well, Hershey thinks it needs to be called the Raleigh. So,
the Raleigh. Yep. Roll them with the Raleigh.
Hershey.
I can hear it now. I can see the magazine ad.
With the Raleigh.
All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to present our thoughts on inventions that need to exist for hunting and or shooting. And like I said, we're going to take a vote on it. And what kind of spurred this was not only are we in the off season, you got time to think about this, but last spring, do you guys remember talking about the decoy stakes that come with turkeys?
Yeah.
And consensus was they're not that good.
Nope.
And right there, great example. You got a problem. It's got to serve a purpose, right? It's got to be portable. It's got to be, tall enough to see. It's got to be something that perhaps you can't lose as easy as you do the ones that aren't attached to the decoys, all that type of stuff. So right there, a perfect example of an opportunity for an invention to be created. So with that in mind, I'll start this one off.
All right.
You ready for this? And we're going to start this on the, let's see, where should we start? Right here. This is late season. Okay. Are you with me? Late season, we're in the goose pits. What we need, here's the problem. Late season decoy spreads usually have quite a few decoys out, right? You've kind of amassed them throughout the year, kind of a pain in the butt to take them in after the end of every hunt. Then you got to spend time putting them out during the, before you start hunting the next time. It just kind of slows things down, right? But one of the big problems late in the season is what happens on the back and tops of those decoys. Frost.
Yes.
Snow.
Yes.
If there was anything that melted the day before, it kind of sticks to it, makes it icy, and then all of a sudden your decoys now, if you want to move them, they're a little bit tougher. You got a job to do. You got to brush them off. You got to get that off. If the heads are flocked or the tails are flocked, on a lot of Canada geese, you're not getting them out.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
It's a pain.
It
When
is.
You've got 100, 200, 300 decoys out there in the field. It's a pain to keep the snow and ice
Officially,
off them.
pain in the tuchus right there. You see that? And I spelled it the Yiddish spelling for those that are following along on YouTube.
How did you spell tuchus?
Tookus.
Is that the
That's Yiddish.
phonetic or is that the right spelling?
That's Yiddish. I don't know how.
And how do you spell Yiddish?
Yiddish according to Google. So it's not fun to clean, not very effective. Also, if you leave that stuff on there, especially snow, it's in trouble. So I've got my invention, my first invention I'm tossing out here, folks, for your approval is a solar powered field decoy snow and ice melter. Boom,
Built
right
into
there.
the
So
decoy.
how it works,
Built
it's
into
on
the
the
decoy.
internal. There's an internal heater on the inside of your decoy, whether it's a shell or a full body or something like that, that maintains that decoy above 30 degrees Fahrenheit.
Because they're not expensive enough as it is. We could add more to it.
Exactly.
We're not paying
what's
enough.
a couple extra dollars in here? Money's no option. If you want to save your tuchus, we're all willing to spend a little extra, right?
You Yiddish people
So-
are all the same.
But to help in that, Jeff, the battery, which is on the inside or underneath the shell, is connected to a small solar cell on the outside of the decoy. So it's constantly charging itself when there's sun up there. There's enough storage in that battery that even on the sunless days, Kayla, it's able to maintain that warm decoy so that it doesn't have to. Now, even if it's a really hot day, it doesn't have to work. I mean, it just got to keep it slightly above 32 degrees. That's all, which is kind of cool. So then that means when you walk out in the morning, if you want to switch up your large late season goose spread, all you got to do is move decoys around. You don't have to worry about brushing it off. You don't have to worry about that. It's going to be more effective, all that type of stuff. So, hey, that's my first thought. Solar-powered field decoy snow and ice
I'm
melter.
already voting for that.
Boom!
You already got my vote.
All those words, and you didn't have the word defroster in there.
Oh,
you missed out.
Shark Tank.
Oh,
wouldn't
see.
Yeah, sorry, no marketer.
I didn't want to infringe on the other decoy makers.
The one
have
that
the
invented it
defroster.
already.
I'll make a note of that, yeah.
Because defrostthedecoy.com already took it. So
I like it. I've got two thoughts right now. You almost got me. All right. First being stackability of decoys. How does that impact how you stack and carry your decoys out?
Right.
And two,
All right.
the weight of your decoys. How much does that mechanism inside weigh?
and
what
three, how much is that going to cost me? That sounds expensive.
We're working on the weight thing. We're trying to get, especially as Greenland melts, we can find more rare earth metals and things like that, so we might be able to increase the effectiveness of the solar panel and of the battery
Titanium
consumption.
decoys.
But it's it's something you're going to want to drive out. Let me say that. You're not going to
It's not for everybody.
and go.
Well, I'm going to say this. As someone who has spent, and I will say countless hours in the cold, in the snow, trying to keep decoys looking like decoys and not little, snowy bumps in the ground, that appeals to me. That really appeals to me. I'm a possible vote.
Possible
on this
vote.
one.
I
I think it's not well thought out yet.
Oh, none of my ideas are.
Trust me, I know.
Hopefully you're not gauging, you're gauging it
Trust
on that.
me,
We're in
trust
trouble.
me, I know, but it's not well, as usual, it's not well thought out. But I think if you could work out the details on this one, you got a gold mine there.
There you go. All right.
We could both retire, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
We could both retire.
The stackable for the shells would be an interesting one right there. On full bodies, boy, they take up a lot of space. It's not gonna
We had a
go
great
much
idea
more.
here. This was good.
All right.
Yeah.
Suppose
All right.
if you're like Jeff and you leave them out for however long you leave them out.
That's
so
where we're going to go. Is that
that's-
how the deal
that's
is? Oh, we're going to start talking
All right,
about
so
that.
I got a yes vote. I got a
No, I said I'm thinking about it.
well. Now we're gonna have to vote to have enough time to get through everybody's.
I got
ideas.
another question
Yeah,
as I'm
okay.
thinking
Just
through
gonna
this.
Give it to you.
All right.
So it melts the snow and ice on top of the decoy. What about around the decoy?
We know
So
that-
as it melts, it turns into ice and
Well, the sides maybe. I mean, you don't need the bottom. Bottom's okay.
well, when you
Bottom's
go to
okay to
pick
be
it up,
frosty.
you might have a different idea.
All right.
Unless we're all Jeff and we leave him out till spring. And
it
Come back to me.
probably emits enough.
Apparently,
of
you don't
a,
waterfowl hunt very much.
you know,
I'll tell you right now. You got
attraction.
300 decoys out in the field or more. You don't pick them up every day. At least I don't.
The heat probably provides an attraction for any of the male Labradors that are there, so that when they sprinkle right there, I mean, it melts the ice and things underneath, so you're able to pick up that decoy. And
Not as well as you might think.
You got quite the herd of Labradors then.
all right, so we got to work on stackability and
I will share a story with you because
frozen to the ground. All right,
my Labrador only poops on objects sticking up out of the ground. He likes to poop up against like a shrub or a little hillside.
oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome until you got a field full of decoys out there and he has to go because he goes and finds the closest decoy to the blind, poops on it. And that's not been appreciated by all hunters in the
Trying
group.
to defrost for you.
Well, it
Yeah.
works. It works.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so vote time. All right,
Yeah.
so all in favor, raise your hand.
I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to go with it.
One,
go with it.
all opposed.
You can't sit and beg for votes.
I'm out.
man.
It needs more. We need to see a model of it. And
Yep, more thought.
Oh
I
boy,
don't-
you guys are gonna
if you
love
guys-
the next
I was
one.
going to say, if we got to have, start to fit with a marketing plan and a business model, I'm screwed on all four of mine. So,
But yours are patented, so there's more thought in there already, right?
thanks to Bob. That's right. Thanks to Bob. So don't get any ideas.
All
All right, let's go.
Who wants to go next? You want another one or this one?
No. It's one per person here. Hunter,
Okay.
are you ready to go?
I've got my first one. That's my most far-fetched one. If you want to hear that one, I'll save it.
Let's hear it.
I'll save the good one.
Oh,
for last. All right.
I got one of those.
You're out in the field about 3 miles from camp hunting whitetail deer. You
Got me.
It's near dusk. We've got about 10, 15 minutes till shooting time. You're in your tree stand, and a nice big doe comes. And the last day of the firearm season, you're looking to fill your freezer, and you take the shot. Before the shot, you're thinking about, man, how am I going to get this deer out of here? Well, good thing you packed in with your winch frame backpack to pull that deer out.
The Hunter Nikolai winch frame backpack.
This pack is aluminum and lightweight with a small winch that has a reciprocating cable that you can attach to your deer, legs or head. And as you walk out, that reciprocating cable pulls the deer, taking much of the weight off you and onto that frame as you're walking out, dragging your deer.
Wow, you might have got me at reciprocating.
That is a big
Got it
word.
right there.
The
just like,
cable's got to go somewhere, and it's not going into your backpack.
Please
So
don't get
there's
a
got to be
dictionary. We're going to need a dictionary. I can tell you that right now. So as you're walking out, you feel the weight of that deer, right? Because
Right.
you got all the weight on that deer. So how is that taking the weight off of you?
Think of it as like a 2-cable system where in the frame of the backpack, that's where you're getting your pole, and the weight's coming onto that, and that cable's cycling through in a circle, but there's a mechanism in there that pulls that cable with a motor for a short length of time. So you're still walking with the weight, but the thing's assisting you as you go, so pulling some of that weight. I'm not an engineer, but there's got to be some way to do it.
Clearly, you're not an engineer. I think there's a fault or two in this whole system, but I like where you're going.
now, based on some of the other inventions I've got on my list, I don't want to start the idea that we have to question physics and science and all that type of stuff. Yeah. So I'm not gonna question. I like the idea of not having to pull the full weight. Especially, we've all been on those hunts where we're successful and we're the only person getting that deer out, whether that's a half mile, or just a couple hundred yards to the field to where you can get a truck to it. That is a big thing. And having pulled a Nebraska pronghorn 1.5 miles with a rope that was too short on the back
appeals to
strap
you.
of a
This appeals to you.
backpack, and it kept every time I'd slow down, it would punch me in the back of my legs with the horns. I'm all for anything that helps out.
I think I remember one time it was a mentor hunt. My mentor had shot a doe. It was after dusk, and I sent him up to the truck to pull it down as far as we could. And I said, "I'll drag this deer as far as I can." And we messed up. We didn't have a drag or anything like that. So I took off my belt. It's about that long, and I'm walking along, and you feel all the way to that. You don't have much.
Hating life, yeah.
Yeah.
Been there.
And for a skinny guy like me, losing your belt is a problem. It
Yeah,
makes
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Your strides are a lot shorter.
We're going to let that one go. It's just too easy. It's just too easy.
So
Yeah.
the shape of this backpack, can you still use it as a pack? You can put your gear in it and stuff, or does the reciprocating cable take up all that room.
It only takes up about a third of the pack. You've got your motor in the bottom, and the cable comes through in a concealed compartment, so you've got a nice space for the rest of your
Sounds
gear.
heavy. Sounds heavy.
Sounds heavier than dragging a deer out.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you're like me that never gets a deer, you're dragging that pack around for no reason. I don't know. That sounds heavy.
Maybe that's why you don't have any deer. You don't have a pack like this to assist you.
I don't think the pack has been the issue. I can tell you what the issue has been. A pack does not come to mind. Huh. Okay, let's vote. I'm ready to vote. Let's vote.
All right, everybody in favor? I'm raising my hand because I like the idea of anything that helps me get a deer out.
I'm not sold on this
Not
yet.
sold.
I don't understand it.
2 for 1, so we've got the, what did you call that?
Oh, your
The pack of...
reciprocating winch deer drag pack.
You got to spell winch.
I think you got to come up with a better name, too.
Need
but-
an acronym.
Backpack. All right. So I got one loss, which was the solar-powered field decoy snow and ice melter, but we got one that we're moving on. The reciprocating winch backpack deer puller device.
Here's a flaw.
These are
I'm gonna
long
see a flaw in
names.
this team right now because I think your idea was better, but if you've never spent days and days and days over hundreds of decoys, they're not appreciating the idea that I think is a good idea. I hate giving it to you. I really wish you to come up with it, but I think it's a good idea. Anybody else?
I got to
actually.
sell the need better.
You gotta look at the market size for deer hunting versus your goose
Okay.
hunter.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. All right. Who wants to go next, Kayla or Jeff?
Well, Jeff's looking at me with some crazy eyes over there, so I guess I got to go next.
You read them well.
Crazy eyes.
So my first one is, disclaimer here.
Wait a minute. We didn't know there was disclaimers available.
I've been working my butt off this morning for Aaron. So, So I don't have as much thought in these.
She's already got my vote.
Better have your vote. She's got my sympathy.
Anyway, so my first one is I have to come up with a long name now. The Comfy Blanket Snuggle 2000. There we go.
Comfy snuggle.
Comfy blanket snuggle
2000.
2000.
Yep. Better than the 1000. That was our number 1. We're on number 2 now.
I don't know about anything with the word snuggle in it. Okay,
Newlyweds.
You were recently married, if I'm not mistaken.
So was Hunter, but you're not.
So I've got 2 votes.
It's a done deal.
Anyway, continuing.
Comfy snuggler. Okay.
Yep.
And what's it do?
So this blanket is the blanket of all blankets when you're out in the field, whether it's duck hunting, deer hunting, you name it, you got this blanket. And it's everything you need. So it warms you, it cools you, it allows you to move around, it dampens your noise as you move.
Ooh, a noise dampener.
Yep.
How does it do that? Is it got like booties? Like boots to put your feet into?
It's magic.
See? Oh, okay.
Magic blanket.
Yes,
Doesn't work. I done told you, Jeff. It's magic.
That's what was missing in the Comfy Blanket Snuggle 1000, wasn't it?
It was,
Magic.
yes.
The words magic appear in any business model. They immediately gets kicked to the side. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm crossing
I'd
that
like
out.
to go get a bank loan. It'll be magical. Let me tell you what's not magical. Okay, all right.
So it's a thick blanket, but it's also thin, so it's not very heavy.
Oh, you're
And-
serious about the blanket. Oh,
I am very serious
I'm with
about
you.
the blanket.
I'm with you.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Jeff. But it has thick fur on the outside that can't get tangled, and that's where your heat and cooling aspect comes in. So it keeps the heat in, but it also lets heat escape if needed by flipping the blanket over. So keep the fur in.
It's reversible.
Yep. And that's how it dampens noise, is that thick fur dampens all that noise. Kind of like our sound room in here, how it has the padding, something very similar. So as long as it's covering your feet or wherever's brushing up against something, it'll dampen that noise and effectively remove it if you're quiet enough.
So where exactly does the snuggle come into the...
Well, you just wrap it around you like you're snuggling.
So it's a
Snuggle
solo
in your-
snuggle, huh?
So do you have armholes or is it just a regular blanket? You got armholes to do things with?
The 3000 is in works.
Okay, 3000's got it.
That's the upgraded model.
Armholes optional.
That was good.
You got to pay more for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I just can see myself sitting around deer camp, and Bob's over there wearing that blanket. Bob, what do you like about them? Jeff, I don't know. It just seems to snuggle really good. I just don't. Okay, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I understand the simplicity. I don't get the magic part. I don't know if that's pixie dust or what. I'm not sure where that comes from, but it's a no for me.
Is there a certain type of magic that would turn you to a yes vote?
No.
If you're,
So it's not really the magic.
Not feeling the magic. It's a no for me.
I've taken my wife out hunting, a handful of times now, and I would say 75% of the time she's gotten cold. So I'm in.
You're in.
I'm in.
It's a blanket.
I'm in, but does it come in blaze orange? Does it come in camouflage?
It does now.
There you go.
Yes,
A blanket she can take and
any colors you
Because
like.
she's smart.
there you go.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm in for that.
Oh boy. Okay. Hershey.
I already said that I was in because she's been working for me today. But I will back up. My wife, that's one of her go-to hunting items. Doesn't matter what kind of hunt it is. It can be an early season dove hunt. It can be a late season deer or early spring turkey or what have you. The blanket's always there. And I know that, especially if you can make it lightweight, because her go-to is an old surplus Army wool blanket that smells like an old Army surplus wool
Musty.
blanket.
Yeah.
But it's about the only color that blends in, and it's warm despite the conditions. So,
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go yes because I said I was going to. I'm kind of on that maybe side, but that was pretty good. The noise dampening would probably be a big part of it.
I think we need to talk. Maybe get some focus groups together on naming. But other than that,
The Cuddler 2000 doesn't
Comfy
quite
blanket
go with.
snuggle 2000 with optional.
Depends on your
armholes.
audience. Depends on the audience. But okay. I'm sorry. I like
another
the
one.
concept. I really do.
Well, I'm ready for yours, Jeff, now. So
I bet you are.
Remember, we want to take a vote now.
I vote no.
You guys want honesty or you want alliances here? Okay, I'm just trying to tell you, your ideas suck. But anyway, moving on. No, they didn't suck. I'm just kidding. It was a good idea. I liked it. I really did. The name, but I liked it. This was a struggle. I'll be honest with you because I got so many good ideas. But I have come up with the first one. That is deceptive predator camo.
Deceptive
Yep.
predator.
Deceptive predator camo. And here's the deal. We spend so much money on camo and blinds and, this camo's wrong for this and that and the other thing. And then, a while back, somebody came out with panel blinds that were reflective, and the panel blind, you could just reflect. And that was kind of cool, but it's cumbersome and they don't seem to be getting, as wide a use as I thought they might. But what if y'all saw the movie Predator? When we were kids, Arnold Schwarzenegger and all that group, and then the Predator.
When we were kids.
That's right.
Talking to me.
yeah, I was gonna say I have not seen the movie.
When you and I were kids. I'm going for your vote here.
I think it's on AMC right now.
All right.
There's a new one coming out. Bring you up to speed
Does
fast.
it have a subscription? Can I subscribe to that and watch it, or I got to plug in my tube TV?
Anyway,
I
back
just
to
think
my-
you have to show the
so
AARP
deceptive-
membership, and you'll get in.
So anyway, Google it. But anyway, back to when I saw the Predator, I saw the actual alien Predator. That every time he'd walk somewhere, it's like he was wearing a suit, right? And he was that reflected everything in his environment. So he took on the environment he was in. I thought to myself, that'd be so cool for hunting. And I thought, but how could you do that? It'd have to be at the thread level. Each thread would have to be a reflective thread that was either coated or something like that would be made into this garment. So when you put on this garment, it was completely 100% reflective of your environment as you moved. The camo pattern, whatever the environment is around you, changes so that you don't have to worry about having the right camo or carrying stuff with you, and it's called deceptive predator camo. Now, I would make mine so that it would provide heating and cooling properties as well with pixie dust. Is
that the 2000 model?
This is the 5000 model. Let me tell you, you're going to pay for it too. But so reflective thread camo technology. And it'd be comfortable. It'd be lightweight. It would give you complete reflective camouflage technology in the field. Last camo you'd ever buy.
Any option for snuggles?
You will not snuggle in this stuff. I will. The word snuggle will
I'm
not
out.
be anywhere. Yeah. It'll have total snuggle capability.
I'm in.
What you do in Predator Deceptive Camo is up to you.
I think you got to be married, but I'm guessing that your significant other was like, "Ooh, I'm getting snuggled, and I don't know why."
You can disappear in any room in the house with this camo too, so just keep that in mind. So anyway, that's my idea.
Questions? I mean, that was one of the cool things about Predator, right? They never
so
saw
cool.
him.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Excuse me.
I should have suggested you two watch the movie before this, but it was
I
so
know
cool.
what you're talking about. I have an
Yep,
idea.
me too. Yep.
Bingo. It was so cool. You couldn't see him. He just
Questions?
disappeared.
Jeff, this product would disrupt the hunting clothing market incredibly.
Yes. For the better for the person who invests in my product.
I'm in.
There you go.
I don't have any questions. We'll open it up.
Any
for
other
more.
questions, Kayla?
I'm glad you called Bob before this started.
That was a pretty good one. I'm in as well. That might be our first 3 vote. Did you vote yes?
Yes, yep.
All right, so right now the leader is Deceptive Predator Camo. All right, so it's my turn, right? By the count here. It looks like might be able to get one in for each of us yet. One more anyhow. Do you want to go with footwear or do you want to go squirrel hunting?
Oh, you know where I'm at.
Squirrel hunting.
Squirrel hunting.
All right, so this is the hair-free squirrel skinner and quartering machine.
Ooh.
Wow.
I mean, all right, and I kind of let the bag out. What's the one thing that probably keeps most people away from squirrel hunting?
They're snuggly.
I would say
There are not enough snuggles in
snuggling.
squirrelwood.
It's like cleaning and cooking.
Thank you, Hunter. Putting this above board here.
Kayla,
That's exactly right. I think it's one of those things that even veteran hunters probably would squirrel hunt a little bit more if it wasn't that skinning of the squirrel, cleaning of the squirrel. It can be done, and there's tips and tricks and all that stuff, and I think we know them here. But still, it's for the size of it, it's probably one of the tougher animals to skin. And if you got more than one, if you're doing them at the same time, you're going to get hair someplace. It's just a matter of how much hair, all that type of stuff at times. And then at the end of the day, and I know the one critter that my mom would not let me bring into the kitchen when I was growing up was a skinned field dress squirrel, because it just didn't look like anything she wanted to eat. So that's why we have the hair-free squirrel skinner and quartering machine. All right. Now this is kind of takes on the shape very similar to one of those commercial vacuum sealers that you can buy at a lot of the outdoor stores. But you need to place it. That's what it has in common with the sealer. But it also has in common with like a garbage top shredder that you put on top of a garbage can. So you need a garbage can. Garbage can is not included. Well, kinda. Okay. You feed the squirrel into the carcass reservoir. So after you've shot and you get home, you put the squirrel in. You close the lid, kind of like the vacuum sealer, but it's not like airtight or anything like that. But it uses water pressure suction and German engineered blades to clean the squirrel. Now it comes out in the bagging area. It comes, bags you'll buy separately. And it comes out not only clean and field dress, gutted, but it's also quartered out. So that when you're done with this, you've got a baggie, and they're kind of a Ziploc. We're working a partnership with them. Already in a Ziploc baggie, so it's got the back legs, the front legs, the back of the squirrel, if you will, the what do we call those? The
hind quarters.
The hind quarters, yep. Some back straps from the squirrels, already done. No hair on it. Already for the fridge. It's going to look just like those chicken thighs that you're going to eat or anything like that. Unedibles are dropped. No, Jeff. German engineered blades. Did you miss that part? Unedibles, which are almost like magic right there. Unedibles are dropped right into the garbage can below. And all you got to do is every once in a while replace the water. About every third use, unless you've got high success rates on squirrels, and maybe every other time. But no problem at all. And then one of the biggest stories in squirrel hunting becomes one of the most fun. I mean, you can get kids involved with this. You just drop them in, close it, and then off you go. Drop another squirrel, and you're done. And what's better than having something that everyone's going to look forward to eating, because it looks, like something we're used to. Chicken, beef, pork, whatever it might be. It no longer looks like a skinned rat in the fridge.
What will this cost?
It kind of pays for itself. after many hours, just think of how many hours you've got into the squirrel skinning shed. Well,
not all of us have built a shed on the back of the house for squirrels.
Those Germans don't work cheap, Jeff.
Well,
it took a while to engineer the suction too, but
that's where you lose me a little bit. Could they be American engineered blades?
Well, the blades are actually made in America. They're just engineered in Germany. And but engineers, how they can.
There were a
lot of questions asked and answered.
Is your target audience the squirrel hunter, or are there going to be some squirrel processing shops
that are
opening?
Well, if there's a deer hunter, I feel there'll be a lot of jams going on in this thing.
Well, it's not made for deer. We haven't perfected. That's a bigger machine, a bigger garbage.
That's a
bigger garbage can.
That'd be a toe behind.
And the Germans right now, they're not real excited about that one. But that said, I assume every hunting household and cabin will have one of these, and squirrel hunting will experience a revival in interest because who doesn't want to put it to use?
Back to kind of Hunter's question, is it versatile so you can use it for rabbits and maybe even ducks? You can put small ducks, not geese, but ducks.
I am waiting to hear the answer to this particular question.
Feathers, it doesn't do well with feathers.
Okay, I like him. I think he's
thought
it through.
That's not there. Rabbits, we're working on that. That might be an option. They're just a lot more fragile than that. The pelt of a squirrel here in Nebraska. So we're trying to work on turning down the suction. But right now that comes with a lot of responsibility, and we're not sure at the home level that can be done.
Have to get the Italians in for that one.
Yeah, we're working on it, but. Having that most rabbits here in Nebraska moved in town anyway, where they're probably pretty safe. So,
I gotta be honest.
It always makes me nervous when you say that.
For the first time in my life. No, I gotta be honest.
We expect you're honest all the time, Jeff.
Okay, but I am gonna be this time blatant. When we were kids. I'll be talking to you again. But I know when we were kids, and you'd play those games, and we do this and that, and then you put it in here, and you push the button, and it does this, and it was just totally unexplained, but everybody kind of got the concept and liked it. I feel like this is just one step above that where you always throw it here and push the button, and it does this, and we're like, well, that's a good idea because I hate skinning squirrels, but I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned as to how this actually does what you want it to do.
Think about it, like that cellular device right in front of you. If you want to open that up? No. We don't want to know how it works. We're just glad it does.
I'm in. No, I'm thinking. I'm in.
Don't think it too hard.
But I think that it needs a lot more product development. But conceptually, I'm in. I like the concept.
So right there, what you're telling me is you need to be one of the field testers. Is what you're saying. You want in at the ground level. All right. So there's one vote.
I'm in, but I'm skeptical.
Proof of product, and I'm in.
We can bring in a
Is
squirrel
that a
this
yes
fall.
or no?
I'm in.
All right, you're in. Okay.
But you won't see my money until we get a proof of product.
Three.
I'm also on the fence.
Oh.
The versatility is one aspect that I'd like to see in this. Working on that suction so you can use it for rabbits, or adding it in for maybe like a small deer or something where you can add extra parts. Duck.
I don't know why you bring Jeff in a deer
Turkeys.
I'm reconsidering now because.
Wait a second.
Does this have to be plugged into a?
He's pushing that Chad back into the boat, right?
Can you plug it into a vehicle, or does it have to be?
This is probably best done at home. I guess I hadn't explored the 12-volt route, but right now, because of the pressure, the suction, and the spinning blades, 110 right now.
I think we're spending too much time on a product. I think we got to decide.
I'm in.
You're in.
Reluctantly in.
Oh, so
all right,
close.
next, move on. Next one is next.
All right, this one's a good one.
All right.
And you guys, this is a serious one, and if this exists somewhere, please
Hold
tell
on.
me.
These have all been serious ones.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is
Hey,
one that
what are you
might
implying?
actually happen. All right. Raise your hand if you hunt on
Salt the
public.
wound.
Raise your hand if you hunt on public lands at all.
Hunt on public land, yeah.
On some-
I have, yeah.
Raise your hand if you use OnX or Hunt Stand or another similar app.
Yeah.
All right. Raise your hand if, when you're in the field looking at those apps, you find yourself pulling your phone out to look at your map because you don't want to cross onto private property by accident.
Sure.
All right, what if instead of using your phone to look at your app to tell you where you are in relation to the public and private property boundary line, you could set up in your lands app that whenever you got within, say, 50 yards, either on your phone or if you got an Apple Watch or a Garmin watch, you get a buzz or a notification that says within 50 yards of property boundary, and then you get within 25 yards or 10 yards, and you get maybe a 2 buzz to tell you you're within 10 yards of the property boundary. That way, you're out there on public land. You don't have to have your phone in your hand. You're not making noise. It's a small little buzz that tells you you're getting close. At that point, you can pull out your phone if you need to.
I like the fact that you said it's not going to make noise, because here's what I see. I see myself for 2 hours stalking this deer, and I take one step over to get the shot. You are 10 yards from the property. Just, I'm like, oh, this was a great idea.
Well, it's hands free. It's a vibration. Vibrations do make a little bit of noise, but they're very minimal. Especially if it's on a phone in your pocket, you'll feel it, but you won't hear it.
So, first question that pops in my mind, Hunter, is as a child and even now, because I know you have a nurse in the family, right?
Yeah.
Have you spent a lot of time playing Operation?
I've not, but
where it buzzes when you get close to the edge,
Yeah,
and you're taking out the funny bone
it's the same
the bread basket or something like that. So this is kind of be the real life application of.
Do you know what Operation Game is?
I do.
Okay,
I do know
just
that.
Making sure we're on the same
I
page.
pulled out hearts
I can
and
feel that
bones.
Oh,
And
boy.
It's the Wacky Doctor Game from Milton Bradley. They don't have commercials for it anymore, do they? I remember
I
on
don't know
Saturday
that they
mornings
do.
there'd be a zillion commercials for it.
Yeah, Operation with the nose that glows and all that.
Oh
stuff.
yeah. We wore out that light bulb. Let me tell you right now. All right. I gotta be honest
I
with
think
you.
it's intriguing.
This is totally doable, in my opinion. It's simplistic in the fact that I don't understand the phone, but I understand that somebody could probably figure that out. So I'm in.
we got one.
I would invest in this technology.
I'm not sure I wear watches.
Well,
Very often.
if you got a watch, you can do it on your watch. If you have a phone, you set it for your phone.
Hershey, I don't care if a penguin comes up and slaps you. It'll notify you somehow. Just, are you in or not?
We'll see.
Come on.
I'm going to see
got
that
2 votes
penguin
that
come
last
in
time.
and
We got 2 votes last time on both of them, actually. So, Kayla?
I have a segue, so we need your vote first.
I'm going to have to say I really like the idea. I'm going to have to pass, though, just because I kind of go hunting to avoid some of those stuff. I have used Onyx. I have, used Angry Birds to kill time in the tree stand from time to time, but we'll see.
Interesting.
We'll see. Mainly because
I would have thought you were.
And
on
I
board.
remember the
not
how
for
you were
everybody.
last time.
It's not for everybody.
We're in Nebraska.
Hunter's on X Magnum. It's not for everybody. All right.
So my vote is yes. And I'd like to partner up with your company for my company for my next
Snuggler.
gear.
The snuggler on.
You can get your snuggler to instead of your phone or your watch vibrating, your blanket vibrates instead.
That's when the snuggling occurs, huh? This isn't as comfortable anymore. You must be close to the boundary.
I love how you're branching out to sell your product. I just think the market, you're missing something.
No, this is my next product,
Oh,
not
okay.
the
Okay.
snuggler,
All right.
the next
All right.
one.
Okay, all right.
So,
All right,
so Hunter, 2 votes, 3 votes.
He got it approved, yep.
but you didn't get your vote.
Well,
Remember
I want to give it to him, but I don't want to give it to him.
I
So.
remember.
I'm regretting my vote, my first vote.
I agree. Remember, I voted for it.
I know.
All right, move
So
on.
my invention are tech glasses, and it's the same thing. They might have already been invented, but they're glasses that you wear, and they notify you based off of certain events, and they also have different application stuff that you can use in them. So you wear these glasses similar to safety glasses. So they're not bulky, they're not anything big, and there's a little chip that you can have if you wear actual glasses that, wear safety glasses over your actual glasses, so they'll still project onto the lens of your glass, and it'll tell you different information, perhaps if Hunter's company in mind get together. It could tell you boundary lines, shows a little notification, boundary lines coming up. It can also tell you like weather, if there's a storm incoming, or if the sun's going to start coming out, if it's going to get cloudy, or the temperature's falling or rising, that type of stuff. It also tells you distance. So when you see that buck walking in, it'll tell you that buck is 23.5 yards away. It tells you all kinds of stuff. So anything that your phone can do for you, you can have it sync to this little microchip or these glasses, and it'll project it on the lens in a way that you can see it.
Wow.
Sounds like an expensive pair of glasses.
I have a feeling you're going to get a call from some of the, folks that design military hardware and weaponry and things like
We're
that.
not going to be
It's
able to afford her here pretty soon.
Kayla,
let me tell you.
who have you been talking to? Come talk with us. That'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be pretty neat to have a heads up. And I do wear glasses a little bit more than I unfortunately do watches. So perhaps there is a tie in there. But I do, seeing how much just sunglasses cost, any idea the price tag on this?
Well, we're still working on it. We're trying to make it as affordable as possible. Well, we don't have the Germans in it, so that makes it a little cheaper.
Smart move. Smart move. Boy, I honestly, I'm not sure I'm smart enough to know if I should vote for this one or not, because I like the idea. I really do. Part of me has that alarm in my head. Is this too much technology for hunting? And so that concerns me a little bit. It does. But it's probably technology at the right level. God, I feel like I'm just getting easy. It's probably technology at the right level. If they could be cost affordable. Will those glasses, will they snuggle right onto your face? Will they just kind of give you a go?
You have that option, yes.
You might be able to see pixie dust.
I'm in.
Okay.
Is there any way you can build in identification of hunters versus game into those glasses?
Oh.
We are working on a feature that it'll identify orange. So if there's orange moving through, it'll highlight that orange. So if you're pheasant hunting, it'll see that orange. We're working on trying to get like movement if it's a hunter, or you know how security cameras, they can identify if it's a human versus an animal going by the security
Facial
camera.
recognition?
Yep.
Okay.
Trying to get that, but it's hard because most hunters are wearing camo, so the technology isn't quite smart enough yet to identify that.
I think I like where you're going with this. If you could incorporate human identification technology, we call that HIT. If you could incorporate HIT technology, I think I'd be all over that. I think that's awesome. I
don't think the product's quite there yet. I think once that's there, I'm in. But you'll have to come back to me when that's developed.
We'll keep you in mind. I'll get your contact information after the podcast.
I was going to say, I think I'm in just because it's glasses instead of a watch. But I like it.
It's a simple.
Where did I go wrong? All right.
All right. This might be our last one for this round.
Well, here's the deal. You've gone shooting. Everybody's gone shooting, right?
Okay.
And you get to the range, and you have to have some sort of shooting vest, right? Now, many of our shooting vests, sometimes, for some reason, the world went to nylon, which is just almost useless. When powder burns hit that nylon, it just rips the bag open, all the polyfill or sand falls out. It's just a mess. The other problem is you go to the range, you got the rest, but you got like 3 or 4 guns you want to shoot, so you got to bring 3 or 4 different rests that fit different guns, or tons of sandbags or what have you. And it's just a big pain, right? You get this rest that doesn't fit, and you're trying to get down on the gun and trying to, it's just a pain. So I'm going to invent this, and this is the Automag self-adjusting rest. And what this is a leather bag rest that has a yoke in it, and then a base, a wide flat base that sits on the ground, and you have a little button on the left side or the right side, ambidextrous. And if you hold that rest, as your gun's sitting on the rest, you hit that button and it can adjust, it can expand, or it can contract. It can get harder or softer so that it can nestle the gun or provide much more resistance to the rifle or the pistol, so that it fits all firearms. and it's leather. So therefore, powder burns, cylinder burns. You're not going to ever shoot through it, have any problems like that. But it adjusts, so you can sit there at the range, and instead of needing to adjust that sand and bring that gun up a micro inch or down a micro inch, you just tap that little button, and it'll bring that gun up a micro inch, down a micro inch, and just expand or contract. Last rest you'll ever buy.
And I didn't think I'd say this today. Pneumatic or hydraulic?
Pneumatic is what I'm thinking.
Pneumatic.
I'm thinking pneumatic. It's a chamber, little motor in there that just brings in air, takes out air, and it would that way you can get just micro adjustments.
Wow.
What is the size of this base, and is it collapsible? So as you go in and out, does it just collapse down to a little thing you can put into your
You empty
bag?
the chamber, and it just shrivels down into just a little leather bag. But if you expand it as much as you can, it could get quite large depending on, there might be a small and a large model, but I'm thinking it's going to be one model, one size fits all. And the base, it's going to be like a standard shooting rest. It won't be much bigger than a standard shooting rest. It's just going to have much more utility in the rise and the drop of that firearm on the rest.
I'm trying to find a flaw in it, but you've explained it well. You know what? When we were shooting at that mile range and 1,000-yard range, that was the toughest part, squeezing that sandbag to get it just right and be able to hold it there steady enough.
A micro adjustment there means a whole bunch.
Oh, yeah.
I've shot a lot, and I can tell you that's the flaw in shooting right now, is finding the ultimate rest.
So is it have a case, or is it case and integral to it, so that when you deflate it,
it's going to have a strap on the back, so you just pick it up and go. Yep. Very simplistic. You can take it to the field. And because it doesn't have any sand or heavy weight to it, you can take it to the field. It'll weigh a feather. Take it to the field, adjust it however you want on your tripod or whatever bipod, and you've got whatever rest you need for the field, whatever rest you need for the bench.
Does it work as like a tripod or a bipod when you're out hunting, not just sighting in your rifles, but if you're wanting to hunt as well? I
think that because tripods have already been made, and there's plenty of tripods out there, it would just have a base that fits onto a tripod. So you can just mount it to the tripod, put the screw in there, and you're good to go. Yep. Good idea. I like your idea. You've made the product better. Definitely has that.
Shoot, I gotta go now. No more good ideas.
It definitely has that. It cuddles the tripod just perfectly.
Perfect. I'm sold.
What firearms?
I got 1 vote. I got 2 votes.
I'm in.
I got 3 votes.
What kind of firearms can you use on it?
All firearms. Do I have 3 votes?
I think since it's our one shooting thing, we got to vote yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I think rests are one of those things, kind of like boots, which was one of my other thoughts here. Is the perfect one has not been invented yet.
Agreed.
And so any improvement we can do is pretty good. So by my calculations, which could be inaccurate because I didn't really keep track.
Cuddles win.
No, it came down to Deceptive Predator Camo. Both of yours, I think, got 3 votes, Jeff. Impressive.
I appreciate you guys greatly.
The last shooting rest you'll ever buy. I didn't have a good name for that one. The all-inclusive hunter's glasses that do everything but, skin quarter your squirrel for you, I guess. But pretty darn close. And then an honorable mention is, along those same lines, is Hunter's Operation game style watch that lets you know when you're getting close to the end of your hunting area by minor, electrical burns and electrocution.
Shock there.
There's been no reported fires.
Yeah, does that work in the rain? We didn't ask that.
It works with all your devices.
In the rain.
Really well.
You can even listen to the Hunt Nebraska podcast while it's
you
going
won't
on.
go anywhere. You'll never get close to the fence. Okay.
I like this, guys. I really do. I don't know how to figure out the tiebreaker, to be quite honest with you, because we've got those 4 that are right up there that they got. None of them are mine, so I guess we don't really need a tiebreaker.
Well,
I don't want to know how.
I think your
your
decoy defroster idea that's like the first interview. Some like it, some don't. But if I would have heard yours near the end, I think I would have went another way with that. So it might have been.
Well, see, and that's how you got your 3rd vote for the watch, right there.
the winner is Hunter. Wait a minute now.
And like I said, I've got a few here that I thought were going to do well that I didn't even get to talk about.
Me too.
And I'm sure
Me too.
just talking here probably spurred some other ideas in all of us. We're going to have to do this again. That's the beauty of hunting and shooting, right? We're always coming up with new ideas, ways to tweak.
It's uncharted.
Some things that work, some things that need to work better, and hey, necessity is the mother of invention.
Well, and you think of all the cool products that have come down the pipe over the last 20 years. Most, if not all, have come from a group of guys and gals who have been out in the field, doing this all the time, many, many, many days out of the year, and always in the back of their mind, it has to be better. And you know what? We need to do something better is this. And God, why doesn't anybody make this? And then they just decide, I'm going to figure this out, and they do it. And of course, knowledge is the key there. How to put that together. Find a way to do it cheap and sell it. Somebody ultimately has to buy the product in order for it to work. But there's some good products here.
I think so. Folks, give us a vote for one of the products mentioned here. Maybe we can use that as a tiebreaker, or if you've got your own, hey, list it down in the comments below, or let us know on the Hunt Nebraska Facebook page, and we can kind of get this conversation going a little bit more. But until next time,
Hunt Nebraska, brought to you by your Nebraska Game and Parks Commission.